Hello guys and welcome back to another Ollie's on the Ball video. So this is a bit of a different AFL video. This winter I'm going to try and be putting out at least 2 long form videos a week, which means like another AFL videos like this one, craziest upsets in AFL history. So these are just some of the craziest upsets, like most unlikely upsets that have happened in the past couple of years. So just some that I can think of off the top of my head, and I'll go through like their ladder position, then the end ladder position. So the first upset, round 4, 2022 at Marvel Stadium. West Coast Collingwood. Now heading into this match, Collingwood were 6th, 2-1. West Coast 17th, 0-3. So Collingwood at Marvel. You would expect very strong favourites given West Coast are 0-3. And even lost to North Melbourne, and they've had so many injury issues. Now, it was an interesting start. West Coast up by a goal at quarter time. Collingwood, quite a high-scoring second quarter. Collingwood just wrestled it to 2 points. Then they kicked it away in the third quarter, got in front. But then in the end, West Coast ran over the top of Collingwood with their accurate kicking 14 goals 3 to 10 goals 14. So West Coast in the end ended up winning 87 to 74, but what really saved them was the accurate kicking, as I said, 14 goals and only 3 behinds, whereas Collingwood kicked more behinds than goals. So it was a really good win though from West Coast point of view, and a crazy upset. But in the end, compared to where they finished at the end of that year, West Coast 2-20, so that was one of their only 2 wins. Their other win was like, I'm not even sure who it was over. And Collingwood, 6th and 16th, made a prelim final, missed out on a grand final by 1 point. So even looking at the end of that season, it's still a pretty good upset. Second one, slightly more recently, round 21 MCG 2023, Hawthorn and Collingwood. So their ladder positions pre-game, Collingwood are first, 16-3, so pretty immaculate season, looking good, looking out to take top spot, or at least top 4. Hawthorn 5-14, not an amazing season, some good wins, but pretty low on the ladder. So you're thinking, oh yeah, Collingwood are definitely strong favourites coming into this. It's at the MCG, so pretty level match. But Hawthorn, 16 goals 9, 105 after being up at half time by 11 points, 3-quarter time by 26 points, and then just keep going the final quarter to win by 32 points. Kicking was pretty accurate from both sides, so that wasn't really a factor. Just Hawthorn outclassed them. I'm pretty sure Finn McGuinness tagged Nick Dacos, so really shut him down. And Hawthorn dominated. Now, looking at the end of the season, did this game, actually, was it still an upset? Yeah, it was. Collingwood 18-5, so still a pretty good season. Ended up winning the premiership. Hawthorn, 16th, 7-16. So even looking at that, you still think it's a pretty good upset from Hawthorn to beat Collingwood, especially by that much. Now we've got third one, round 23, 2023 at Marvel Stadium. Now this was, I remember watching this game last year. This was a really good upset. So West Coast Western Bulldogs coming into the game. Bulldogs are 8th. They've just lost to Hawthorn the week prior. They need to beat one of West Coast and Hawthorn to make finals. West Coast 2-19. Their wins were over GWS and North Melbourne, so both at home, so both expected. It's at Marvel especially, so you think, oh yeah, West Coast aren't much chance. Well, early in the game, West Coast took a 13-point lead into quarter time, then 11 points at the half. They were down by 9 at 3-quarter time, but then West Coast kicked a couple of late goals to win in a close one by 7 points. So, pretty good win for them. Ladder positions end season, Bulldogs 9th, 12th and 11th, and if you look at the ladder, they would have finished like 7th if they finished 13 and 10. So if they beat West Coast, they would have made finals, which they didn't. West Coast 3 and 20 didn't get any more wins. 18th, wooden spooners, only on percentage, but still an amazing win for West Coast that actually caused the Bulldogs to miss finals. Next one, round 13 MCG 2023, we've got Hawthorn and Brisbane. Now, heading into this game, Brisbane 8 and 3/4, but they had already had the bye, and most teams hadn't, so they were probably top 2 on wins. Hawthorn 3 and 9, 16th, so they're not having an amazing season. A couple of good wins, but not very good. Now, first quarter, Hawthorn 5-point lead, and then Brisbane have a good second quarter and are up by 17 points at half time. But then they kick 6 goals to 2 to Hawthorn in the third quarter to lead by 10 at 3-quarter time. Then kick 4 goals to 1 in the final term to win by 25 points, 15-8, 98 to 11-7, 73. So pretty good win. Had quite a few good performers. I think James Sicily had a pretty good game in this game. I think I recall. Ladder end positions for the season. Brisbane second, 17 and 6. Hawthorn 16th, 7 and 16. And Brisbane only 5 points off winning premiership. So, like Hawthorn, that's still a very good win for them. They did have a couple of good upsets in 2023. Now this one, a while back, round 1, 2021 at the Adelaide Oval, Adelaide Geelong. I remember looking in this game while I was at Saturday Cricket, and this was a very interesting upset. Ladder positions last year, Adelaide won the Wooden Spooners, only got a win late, like round 16 or something. Geelong made the grand final, so you're thinking, even though it's at the Adelaide Oval, you're thinking Geelong will absolutely pump them. And Adelaide got 2-goal lead into quarter time, and then they kicked away 7 goals to 3. We're up by 28 points at half time. 38 points at half time. Then they just kept it going in the end to win by 12 points, 103 to 91. Did this have an effect on the season? Is it still a good upset? Adelaide 15th, 7 and 15. So similar to what you would have expected. Geelong third, 16 and 6. So still a pretty good upset win for Adelaide. Round 11 MCG 2022, Fremantle v Melbourne. Now this is, even though both teams were at high ladder positions, it is in Melbourne, so Fremantle have to travel a while. And at this stage of the season, Melbourne were 10 and zip, whereas Fremantle was 6 and 4. So start off pretty normal game, Melbourne up by 2 points at quarter time, then got out to a 25-point lead at half time. You're thinking, yeah, Melbourne will win this by 40 odd. But then Freo kicked 8 goals to 1 in the third quarter to be out by 17. And then they kick 4 goals to none in the last quarter to win by 38 points, 94 to 56. Which is a pretty good win from them. In the end of the season, Fremantle 5th, 15, 1 and 5, and Melbourne 2nd, 16 and 6, Melbourne straight sets. So they both made the semis that year, so not the best upset, but it's still a pretty good upset. Now the last one, also a pretty recent one, round 2, Optus Stadium 2023. North Melbourne, Fremantle. North Melbourne, last year they finished 2 and 20th, 18th, and Fremantle, as we just said earlier, at the end of 2022, 15, 1 and 5, semi-final. It's in Perth, so you're thinking, yep, it should be an easy Fremantle win. But it started off with North Melbourne leading by 10 points at quarter time, 8 at half time, 10 at 3-quarter time, kicked 3 goals to 4. So Fremantle kicked more goals, but they just held on. And there was a bit of controversy in this one, with North Melbourne kicking it deliberately, like with 5 seconds left out of their 50, would have been about 45 out just after the siren. So the umpires deemed that it was after the siren, and North Melbourne win by a point. Inaccurate kicking cost the Dockers in this one, but still an amazing win from North Melbourne. Freo 10 and 13 at the end of the season, North Melbourne 3 and 20th, so both pretty disappointing seasons. But still a good upset from North Melbourne. Thanks for watching Ollie's on the Ball, and see you next time. Bye.